Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be bringing you my raedathon vlog slash weekend reading vlog. So yes, I know the raedathon is supposed to be 24 hours. However, I have a lot of reading to get done and I might have to work a little bit this weekend, and so I don't know if I can commit to reading like a 24-hour period of time. Currently speaking, I have 6 books in progress that I started in March that I did not complete by the end of the month. And 3 books that I didn't even attempt to start in March that I was supposed to. And I have about 14 books that I would like to get to in April, including reading for the Cosmere Unbounded that I'm behind a book already on, and also the Expanse Along, which I'm also behind like a book and a half for that one. I can still catch up. Yikes. But my problem is I also just went to the library because it reopened and I got a lot of books because I have no self-control, and I got 2 that are due in 2 weeks. Confessions on the 745 and Remote Control. Now this one, Remote Control, is like a novella, so I feel like I can definitely read this one over the weekend. And I might try to read this one as well, so I can just return them right away. But the problem is reading those 2 books is they're not necessarily on my TBR for this month. So I have to decide if I want to read books that are on my TBR or just read books, whatever books I want to read for this weekend, and then work on my buzzwordathon starting next week and just be late on it because it's fine. It's all good. It's all for me. So I don't know. So I think my plans for this weekend are I'm going to be doing like a reading for 24 hours portion of it, but I don't necessarily think I'm going to do it from the time you're supposed to for the raedathon because I am working again and I am just too old to do the 24-hour thing because I'm still recovering from the bookoplathon and I did not stay up all night. So things are still up in the air for what I'm going to be reading, but I think I'm going to focus on my 2 library books because they're due, and going to continue to be working on House of Leaves. I am down to the last like 200 pages, technically a little bit less than 200, and weirdly enough I'm actually starting to I really am enjoying it this time around. I hated it the first time I read it. I stopped reading it and thought this was dumb. The problem was I read it for a class and there's no spark notes for this book, so I just had to BS my way through an entire essay on this book. It's fine, I wrote about the introduction. But I'm really enjoying it this time. I'm just reading it slowly because it is a book that like you kind of have to read slowly. So I'd like to make progress on this book as well. I have so many other books on my TBR. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I'm just going to be reading a lot this weekend and hoping to make some sort of progress. But it is still early in the morning-ish for me here in California, and I have some work to be doing. I had to send off some documents this morning. I have some more work to do. And so I thought I would be able to potentially have some time over lunch to get some reading done. I'd love to read a chapter of The House of Leaves because I'm trying to read a chapter or 2 a day depending on how it's going, but we'll see. But that's my introduction. It's super rambly, super long to basically tell you all that I have no idea what I'm going to be reading. That's all I got. That's all I got. Please wish me luck. Okay, so quick updates here. I ended up having to be in a meeting for like 4.5 hours today for work, so I did not read over lunch. I worked over lunch and then ate lunch at like 3 o'clock. And I honestly don't even feel like reading yet, which is disappointing. But it has officially started. It is about a little before 7 o'clock for me in my time in California, so like the raedathon has officially started. I think it started like 3 hours ago officially, but I obviously haven't had a chance to read anything yet. So My plans for tonight are to eat dinner because I'm actually pretty hungry because I didn't really eat a huge lunch because I ate like, you know, 4 hours ago. But my plans are to read like 2 to 3 chapters of House of Leaves. I'd like to at least get 2 chapters read, because that'll be about 50 pages, I think, according to my little like sticky notes in here. So if I could read 2 chapters of this tonight, that would be awesome because I'm trying to finish that up over the next few days. Fingers crossed. And I think I'm also going to try to read Remote Control yet tonight before I go to bed. But for right now, I'm going to go and have some dinner, watch an episode or 2 of Hell's Kitchen because I need a mental break from my very, very long work day. And then I will come back and probably do some reading for a couple hours. Yeah, that's my quick update. I don't know. So I will be checking in with y'all when I actually get back and, you know, start reading. Okay, so some quick updates for you. I did read 2 chapters of House of Leaves earlier today. It did take me a fair amount of time because the one chapter was very weird, very intense. Wasn't expecting that, although I'm never expecting anything with this book, so there you go. Yeah, and so that ended up being about like 60 or so pages in this book. It's just a slower read, and it just kind of is what it is, but I'm happy that I read that. I also read a couple of stories from Beneath the Moon. The art in here is just so beautiful. It's just like, look at this. It's just gorgeous, so I'm loving this book. And then I read to page 59 of Remote Control. So far I'm enjoying it. It's very different than what I thought it was going to be, and I'm very interested in kind of where this story is going. So I think that'll be really fun to finish up tomorrow. So my plans are, I'm going to go to bed because I'm very tired, and tomorrow I'm going to read, obviously, a lot. Tomorrow when I wake up, my plans are I'm going to read the 2 comic books that I have from the library because I'm going to probably read those while I eat my breakfast. Then I think I'm going to try to finish up Remote Control right away because, like, as much as I have a couple of books like partially started, I don't want to just keep starting more and more books, you know, so I don't want to start like A Peace in Turmoil or Destiny's Embrace or Confessions on the 745 until I at least finish something. So I think I'm going to read the 2 comic books and then this book, and then I will pick up probably Confessions on the 745 and work on that tomorrow. Obviously read my section of the House of Leaves, but that's just kind of my goals for right now. And then I will see how long that takes me tomorrow and kind of how that all goes. So I will check in with you all tomorrow morning. Okay, so it is now Saturday night. It's a little after 7, and I have not read as much as I wanted to today, unfortunately. I had to do a couple of errands, and then I ended up getting back and having to work on a work project for a little bit. But I do have some updates. So I did read both of my volumes of the Captain America 2018 comic run, which was written by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and I really, really liked them, and I really wish that they had the next 2 collections or the next 2 volumes on Libby, but they don't. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. They might have them in physical form at the library. I could look into that, but it's not a thing I need to concern myself with right now. I have too many other things to be reading. So I read those. It's really good. It takes place right after the 2017 garbage that was done with Captain America, which I hated that. But what Ta-Nehisi Coates is doing in 2018, like the fallout of that, is really, really interesting. It's basically dealing with the American people losing faith in Steve Rogers and Captain America as a symbol, and Steve having to sort of come to terms with the fact that he may no longer really like be needed, and kind of figuring out who he is outside of Captain America in this timeline. Really interesting. We got introduced to the Daughters of Liberty, I think it was. I forget what they were called, but it's like a group of like different women superheroes that just like come together and are like, we're gonna solve your shit. And I love them. Love them for that. But it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that I was able to read them. I forgot how much I like comics because they're so usually very focused on like the characters that they're about, which that's the main reason why I like comics. So those two things were fun. Each of those volumes were like over 100 pages. So I read both of those today. And then I read another chapter of Remote Control, and I'm still really liking it. It's still very interesting. Like I feel bad saying it's weird because like it's just not what I was expecting. And so and I don't want to say like too much right now until I know what the book's about so I don't accidentally like spoil anything. So I'm going to continue to reserve my judgment and my thoughts until I finish it. I'm hoping to do that potentially tonight yet, depending on how my head kind of holds up. And I did also read like another 40 pages or so of The Phoenix Empress by K. Arsenal Rivera, and I just am going to return it for right now. It's not a book that I'm like really invested in. I don't really feel like reading it right now. I'm not really that drawn into the story. I didn't love the first one, but I did kind of want to see where the series went, so I will likely pick it up again. It's just right now I have so many other things on my TBR for the month that I don't really want to waste too much time reading something that I'm not as excited about, you know? So I'm just gonna return it and move on to something that I am excited about. So the plans for tonight. Honestly, I'm not really sure. I've got a little bit of a headache. I'm feeling very tired. I did a lot today that I like wasn't expecting to have to do. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I weirdly feel like writing as well, so I'm like, I kind of maybe want to write instead. I don't know. There's a lot that I want to do, but I will at least read my chapter of House of Leaves, and I will read a couple of stories from Beneath the Moon. Those are the two things that I'll definitely still do tonight. Hopefully read a little bit more, but if I don't, yeah, so I want to at least read my chapter of that book, and then I'd like to read my Beneath the Moon, and I would love, if I have the energy, I also would really love to finish Remote Control tonight. But that's where I'm at for you all right now. Again, the raedathon's not technically over for me yet because it still goes for another couple hours. Basically, this is an update to say I read a little bit today, not as much as I would have liked. Planning to try to read a little bit more tonight. And I will keep you posted. Okay. So it is Sunday morning. Officially, my 24 hours are now up, and my hair is drying, so just ignore this. But I wanted to be able to close out this vlog so I can start to edit it later because I take forever to edit anything. So in the 24 hours for raedathon, I ended up reading about 50 pages of The Phoenix Empress by K. Arsenal Rivera, but I just am not really interested in reading it right now. It's not really calling to me, and I just have so many other books that I want to read that I decided to soft DNF it for now and return it to the library. The other thing I did was I did read almost 100 pages out of House of Leaves by Mark C. Danielewski, which is great. I am down to around the last 100 pages or so, right? When does this technically end? 529, and I'm on page 423. Okay, so 529, right? Or did I cannot remember what I just said. Yeah. So it ends at 529, and I'm on chapter 20 for 420 at 423. So I'm down to the last 100 pages, which I'm super, super excited about. I still don't know how to talk about this book. It's good. It's weird. I don't know if I'd recommend it. It's kind of where I'm at, where I don't know. It just is what it is. And then I did almost complete Remote Control. I still have the last like 2 chapters or so to finish of this one. I am really enjoying it. Like, I love the main character. I really like the world building, and it doesn't feel like it's a novella, even though it is. I think that's why I'm taking like a little bit longer to read it. Like, looking at it and you see like, okay, it's only like 150 some pages. Oh, that should be really easy to read, but there's just a lot of character stuff that like I'm digesting. Which I'm really, really enjoying. I really am liking it. I did read a couple of stories from Beneath the Moon, which is a collection of fairy tales and folklores, which I just am so in love with this writing style, and I'm desperately trying to talk myself out of buying the tarot deck because I love tarot cards, and I have so many of them. But the art is just so, like, the art is just so pretty. Look at this. I know myself, I'm going to eventually buy them, but I'm trying to hold off because I just don't have a ton of money right now, so I can't be buying all this stuff. It's all good. So with all of that being said, like, I did kind of hope to read a little bit more, because I think overall I ended up reading like 300-ish pages, which is nothing to scoff at. Like, it is a lot. I think it was just because I was reading like such a short book, and I was reading like a collection of fairy tales, that I thought that I would just read more pages in this 24 hours, but you know, I didn't. But that's okay. I still feel good with my progress. I still feel like I'm in a good shape going forward. Oh my god, I forgot, I read 2 collections of Captain America comics. That's right. I also read those. Oh yeah, I read a lot in this 24-hour period. Although for me it was technically like 36 hours, but I don't care. It's fine. Yeah, I think the only thing I'm a little bit disappointed about is that I didn't finish completely the Remote Control, and I also didn't start Confessions on the 745. But I mean, I have the rest of the month. Well, I mean, technically I've got like 2 weeks for these 2 books that I'll definitely be able to finish up, or just send back to the library and just try again another time. So yeah, I think I feel pretty good with my progress. I feel like doing it the way that I did, which is allowing myself the time to read for a couple hours on Friday night and then just reading all day Saturday, worked out a lot better for me than trying to do a 24 to 24 midnight to midnight, because I just can't do those. Although maybe if I try to get in the future, I'll just wake up the next day and just do as much reading as I can until I go to sleep, and just sort of see how that works for me. I don't know. We're still figuring out the 24-hour readathons in my brain, life. I don't know. So I think with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this very quick reading vlog. I don't feel like it's going to be super long because there's just not a lot going on here. But let me know in the comments below if you participated in Raedathon, or if you have any tips about doing a 24-hour readathon, because I am not good at them. I really am very much when I get tired, I just go, I'm an adult and I'm deciding to go to bed. So that's just what happens. So yeah, any tips, tricks you have for me, I would love to hear them. If you struggle with them as well, I'd also love to hear that, because Not that I want you to struggle, but I just like to know that I'm not the only one that has such a hard time with this. I gotta stick to my schedule. I gotta stick to my routine. It takes me forever. I'm still trying to figure out the whole spring, like the whole daylights. Like, I'm still struggling with the time change with the daylight savings, and it's been 2 weeks and I'm still like, gosh, I'm so tired. Oh my God, it's been 3 weeks. I just realized. It's just a busy month. It's just a busy month. I'm trying to do book 2 Veda. Obviously I'm starting work again, and I am just constantly busy. And there's just so many books I want to read this month that I'm just gonna have to not read some of them. But I'll catch you all in the next video. And as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.